Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus and today I am doing the Contradictions Book Tag. So this is my first time being tagged by a live human being, so I'm really excited to do this book tag. Thank you, Allie. We're going to start with the first question, and that is, I love this genre, but I didn't like this book. The book that comes to mind for this is I love fantasy, really got into it much more the last few years. So of course I watched all the videos on fantasy to try to figure out which books I need to read, the best of the best. And Wheel of Time, of course, popped up many times, and I tried to read the first book in the Wheel of Time series, and I couldn't. It was very boring to me. I could not get through it. I even tried the audiobook, which usually helps me push through, and I just couldn't do it. And then I know that there's this slog that's in the middle of the series where it's even harder to get through the books. And I'm like, if I can't get through book one, there's no way I'm gonna make it through whatever slog people talk about. So yeah, that Wheel of Time. Question number 2, I rarely read this genre, but I love this book. So I rarely read memoirs, and last year I actually read 3 that I really enjoyed: Matthew McConaughey, Jessica Simpson, and From Scratch. They were all really great memoirs. I think Matthew McConaughey and Jessica Simpson's I enjoyed because I like Matthew McConaughey's movies, and I used to listen to Jessica Simpson, back in the 2000s and watched her show and kind of know a little bit about what she portrayed on TV. So it was interesting to see, to learn a little bit more about what she struggled with during that time when she was kind of at the height of her career. And Matthew McConaughey, he's just fun. So, he also narrated that book. So it was so fun to listen to that audiobook. I really enjoyed that. And then From Scratch was a beautiful story about, I can't remember her name. I think she was an actress, an American actress, an African-American actress. And she fell in love with this Sicilian man in Italy. So the backdrop is in Italy, just beautiful imagery, and his family, didn't really accept her right away. So it was kind of just a beautiful love story. It's kind of sad. It is sad, actually. It is sad at the end. So, but I really enjoyed that. So I don't really read too many memoirs, but those 3 were perfect. I also don't really read a lot of literary fiction and women's fiction, and I did really like, and historical fiction I don't read that much, but I did read Where the Crawdads Sing. I did enjoy that book, and Giver of Stars, I think that's what it was called. That was a really good audiobook. I remember driving to work and I couldn't wait to get back in the car to listen to that, so that was a good one. And the Star-Crossed Sisters of Tuscany, that was another. I think I have a thing for books set in Italy. I need to go there one day. Yeah, because that's another book set in Italy, and it was great. I enjoyed it. So, yep. Question number 3. I love this trope, but I didn't like this book. But I do like the friends to lovers trope. And a recent book that I tried to read that I was really excited to read was Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. And the friendship didn't warm up or build up enough for me to really enjoy it or buy the friends to lovers trope, because it was very obvious from page 1 that the male love interest, I think his name was Fox, already had feelings or really liked Hannah. And same with her, even in her points of view that were shared. It was just very obvious, and I didn't finish the book because I saw where it was going. It was very predictable, which is sad because I do like Tessa Bailey books, but yeah, it didn't work for me. And of course I bought that book. Question number 4 is, I hate this trope, but I love this book. That is office romances. I usually don't like them. They're just not my favorite, but gotta go with The Hating Game. I thought that trope was done brilliantly, and I very much enjoyed that book. The movie, while a little corny, I still enjoyed the movie as well. But yeah, The Hating Game, definitely one of my favorites. So really enjoyed that one. Can't really think of any more office romances that comes anywhere close to as enjoyable as The Hating Game. Question number 5. I love this author, but I didn't like this book. So I have a couple for this one. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I did not like Malibu Rising. I thought it was really, really boring. I just did not care about the story, and I was really disappointed in that because I've loved her other books so much. Definitely like one of my favorite authors, but that one just didn't work for me. And another author that I really, really love is Grady Hendrix, and I have pretty much liked all of the books that I've read by him so far, but I did not enjoy The Final Girls Support Club. Oh gosh, it was so, it did not go in the direction I thought it was going to go in. It was boring. I did not like any of the characters in that book, and it was a huge letdown for me. I could not wait to read that book, and I was so disappointed after finishing that. So that's the other one. Question number 6. I previously disliked a book by this author, but I loved this book. I'm gonna go with V.E. Schwab, This Savage Song. I started to read, that was like my first book that I read by her, and I did not like it. I think I'm realizing that I don't like when singing is used as like any kind of like magical power. Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like it. So I did not enjoy that book, but I very, very much enjoyed Vicious and Vengeful. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. They were fantastic. They were like fantasy books about like these two guys that kind of create their own superpowers and then become like arch enemies, and it was so good. I love those two books. I wish you would do more in that series. Oh, they were brilliant. So I'm really glad that I continued or tried to read more books by her, because honestly, if I read a book by an author and I don't really like the first one, I tend to not try to read any more books by them, because there's too many books to read. And if I don't like an author's writing style in one book, I usually am not going to like it in another book, but this one did prove me wrong. So I very much did enjoy Vicious and Vengeful, but I can say I did not like, I think it's called The Incredible Life of Addie LaRue. I think that's what it was called. I didn't like that one either. I thought it was boring, but I liked her writing style. So it's like up and down for her. I don't know. But yeah. Question number 7. I love this cover, but I didn't like this book. The Cerulean Sea. I think it is a beautiful cover, and I didn't really like the story. The little kids in it kind of got on my nerves. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful cover though. It's such a beautiful cover. The name Cerulean, I mean, you pulling off that word in a book, it's beautiful, but I just didn't like it. Oh, and speaking of Grady Hendrix, another book by him, I liked it, but it didn't live up to what I thought it was going to live up to. And I'm going to show you the book cover because I think it's so cool. This cover is so cool. Oh my gosh. The VHS tape, the 80s like vibes, everything about this cover I love so much. I could not wait to read this book. I did enjoy it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I just thought it was going to be a little better. But this cover, yeah, I thought what was going to be inside this cover was going to be a lot better than what it actually was, but it was good. I mean, I recommend it, but based on this cover. Question number 8, I don't like this cover, but I loved this book. So I actually recently talked about this book on my, bookshelf tour. And I just feel like this cover does not do this book nearly as much justice as it should. I get like the blue tones, I get that, and so part of this book takes place in the redwoods, so I get the trees. He's a musician, like I get it. I see where we're going with it, but I feel like it should be like bigger, or it's something missing. But this book was so good, so I definitely recommend it. The cover's just a little boring, yeah, which, you know, I didn't think the book was boring, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to give off sad vibes. Like I said, it is kind of melancholy, but Not in a like depressing way, just kind of the main character. He's going through some things, but I recommend this book, but I don't love this cover. Another cover that I didn't really like, but I love the book, it was like a 5-star read for me last year, is Jar of Hearts. It's just like, I don't know, like this book was good and thrilling, and this cover, what is it doing? I didn't like it. So another book that I really loved is a romance book, and it was called Eleanor and Gray. And I just didn't like the cover. Honestly, I don't like romance books that have like, unless it's like a historical romance book, I don't really like when there's like real humans on the cover of it. I don't know why. I guess because I want to read it and have like my own vision of what the people look like, the characters look like in the book. So I don't often like when there's real humans on the cover of my romance books. Well, it's not my romance book because I didn't write it, but when I'm reading romance books, I don't know. I kind of like the little animated covers that is like the thing right now. I enjoy those. But yeah, Eleanor and Gray I thought was a great book. I gave it 5 stars, but I didn't like the cover. All right, so question number 9 is just to tag someone else. So I'm going to tag Jordan LaMagna Menghetti, and I am sorry if I said your name wrong, but I'm going to link her booktube channel in my description below. She has an awesome channel, so definitely check her out. And I tag you, and I tag anyone who's watching me. You are cordially tagged by me because you're watching me. So if you want to do this tag, you can say I sent you or I tagged you or whatever the lingo is. But that's all I got today. Thank you guys as always for hanging out with me. I can't wait to see you next time, and have a wonderful day, and see you soon. See ya.